Is it live? Maybe.
I think it's working. We're not usually
We'll wait for
early.
someone to comment and then we'll see.
It's not like us to be early at all.
It's not, is it?
Seems as go.
Hello. It's not, is it? Oh, yep.
It's working. Hello, everyone. Truth and courage. Welcome to the Brothers Gwyn, where we're going to be waffling on about nonsense. So it's the same as any other day, really. Any other video.
I'm just going to manage the chat. We're not.
You have
very
a look
technically...
when you're going technical. You have a look in your eyes.
We're not technically
That
advanced.
looks
There we
scary.
go. Hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've had a good week. Hope your reading in June is going well. So yeah, this was kind of an impromptu. Well, not impromptu because we planned it and we scheduled it, but this is a live stream for no particular reason other than to talk about books. And it's been quite a while since we did our last one. Hello, Rick the Reader. Great name. I love a bit of alliteration. Everyone. Love a bit of alliteration.
I like it as well. Yeah. What would your alliterative name be? Wonderful Will?
Wizard Will.
Willie William.
Well, we mean kind of saying like a you're a short nickname and then the name doesn't really work.
Very true. Hello, everyone. Oh, Dreammaster is reading Hunger of the Gods. Has anyone else read The Bloodsworn yet?
That is great.
I haven't read it yet, but I've heard it's all right.
Yeah.
Should be good.
It's all right. It's all right. But so, Ed, shall we say what we're currently reading?
No, because we've had the most important question of the evening from Matt. Of course, I went Barbarian. Logan Nine Fingers just is my idol in every way. Gort is a bit of a barbarian, really, isn't he? But yeah. And Will, you are a druid.
I am a druid.
Any opportunity to turn into a bear,
it's true.
William will take it.
I've only played it once. I found it enjoyable. It was fun doing it together, wasn't it?
It was fun.
Although you were truly obsessed.
William doesn't know the meaning of immersion because he just runs everywhere. And he did it when we played Red Dead online. His horse was absolutely knackered, and you just wouldn't stop running him to the ground, and it was the immersion was gone.
I never actually went that. See, I would never do that. I would always look after the horse.
Maybe.
Thank you very much, David. That is very kind. We're so glad that you enjoy kind of watching us just kind of geek out. And the next question, another one from you. Would you ever try writing books or want to? Well, Ed, answer.
In the process currently of trying to get Dad to write a book for me and then using his name. He keeps saying no, but any day he could say yes.
Seriously though, you are quite a way through, aren't you?
I am, yeah, about 35,000 words at the moment. So I've been saying that for about a year now, really. But it's a different 35,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
Same but different.
Same but different.
Emperor the Vampire,
brilliant book.
New cover release. I think for book 2 coming this week or next week.
Cover?
Yeah, the cover's coming out, and the title. And
the title is out.
The title's out. Yes, yeah. So cover release.
Rekindled Reader. Yes.
What's up, Theo? How
people who do not know, we will be doing a read along of The Faith and the Fallen starting in July, and that will be with Theo from Rekindled Reader. He's got a fantastic channel. We wish we could be as smooth and edit like he does and be as...
How do you do it, Theo? Tell us your secrets.
Yeah, and also at the same time really giving very sophisticated and really thoughtful thought-provoking thoughts. I was going to say thoughtful thoughts there, but that's kind of what a thought is.
Well, you were talking about alliteration earlier. That is to a whole new level. You're using phonetical knowledge there.
Thank you.
Esme, Barbarian, always.
What are you trying to say?
Good to see you, Esme. First time I'm able to catch a live stream. Wow, I would say you're lucky. Usually we're late, actually. So today is a rare occurrence.
Well, hopefully you enjoy your first one with us.
The Prophet of Adan has been read. Did you enjoy it? We are about to crack the cover. That is the next book I'll be reading. I just finished The Combat Codes by Alexander Darwin, which was a great read. I really enjoyed it, especially for those of you that like martial arts. It's one for you there, or sports movies, really.
And The Prophet of Adan got it right here. I cannot wait to dive in. We absolutely love The Way of Adan. You can check out our review, which is on the channel of our chats with The Way of Adan. And also, we had the incredible opportunity to chat to the author himself, Dr. Fancy himself, Philip Chase.
Yeah. Glockter, porridge and honey, very funny.
I love that.
I can't remember the rhyme, but
need any context. It's
it
just
doesn't.
If you love Glockter, then we do as well.
Druidful Ed and Willy Will. Sorry, Will. That was a bit harsh, wasn't it?
It was a bit harsh.
Jack, how we doing, man? Jack makes the best maps out there. So go check out his Twitter for those maps and check out Philip's book as well. Have I played Elden Ring? We have a bit of a hate relationship with Elden Ring, don't we? I played it and it was the most painful experience of my life. And I know people are saying just get good, but I just can't. And I refuse to be honest, because it really upset me in many ways. Will, what's your opinion? You look really upset.
I'm very happy. I'm not one of those people that like I'm so annoyed that people like this game. I'm very happy that people like it, but for me, just didn't do it. It just felt like, to make a boss kind of harder or show its worth, just make it bigger. No, I don't really like that sort of stuff.
You don't like big monsters, do you? But yeah, Elden Ring, I was upset at one Game of the Year over, I think, God of War Ragnarok.
You did.
Which I haven't played yet, but I've watched other people play it. So that doesn't really
I have
count,
played that.
But Emma, Diablo 4, have you played it yet? Tell me more. The Rogue, Red Dead, John or Arthur? For me, it's always Arthur.
It's always Arthur.
I mean, it's always Arthur.
It's always Arthur.
He changed the way you said boy.
Boy.
And yeah, and she captured the word boy from Kratos, which is a hard task. Hello, good evening. Welcome, everyone. Any booktubers want to collab with?
Well, we are going to be collabing, as we just mentioned, with Rekindle Reader Theo very soon, because not only will we be doing a read along of The Faith and the Fallen, we'll also be doing a few chats about each book as well. We may know a thing or two behind the scenes of The Faith and the Fallen.
Maybe. I would like to collab with lots of people, really. We haven't done anything for a while with Jimmy Nuts, or I'd love to talk with Petrick soon. That'd be really nice.
Yeah,
we've been talking with Petrick for years before either of us were on BookTube, haven't we? So it'd be great to have just a chat with him, really, because obviously he is the BookTube, the fantasy king. Truth and courage indeed, Theo. Not sure if you mentioned this in the past or even allowed to, but can you give us a status update on Bloodsworn 3? Well, it is slow and steady. That's all we can say at the moment, Matt. I wouldn't really want to get anyone excited or disappoint anyone, but I'm sure when Dad wants to announce something, he will let people know, won't he?
When there's an update,
so exactly, definitely. But yeah, so it will be worth it. The wait will be worth it. 100%.
And Matt is another brilliant BookTube channel out there that we would love to collab with.
And I loved his video of having viewers saying what their favorite reads were. That was great to see.
I think there might be another one of those out that I need to.
Matt is officially the collab king.
He is the collab king.
Esme's asking, what has been our favorite read of 2023 so far?
Oh, that is hard. I absolutely adored The Judas Blossom by Stephen Orion. That is released in July, so that'll be a few weeks. That was incredible. Historical fantasy focused on the Mongolian Empire. So historical fantasy, Mongolian Empire, Stephen Orion, you've got me. Also, really loved historical fiction, Yellow Sky Revolt. That was brilliant. And yes, that's historical fiction looking at the War of the Three Kingdoms in China in the 2nd century CE. And then something a bit more out there, which we don't really talk about on the channel, some literary fiction, Mayflies, I would say, by Andrew Hagen. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. That was a really powerful story about friendship that, it hit me in the feels. I definitely want to read Yellow Sky Revolt. All of them, really. I'm stealing your phrase, aren't I? But yeah, as people who absolutely loved Dynasty Warriors, I definitely need to read it. And I just committed sacrilege. Sorry, can I say one more?
Yeah.
Dreaming the Hound, book 3 of the Boudica Quartet.
I was about to say, you've really upset me.
Absolutely extraordinary book. Made me cry on many separate occasions. If a book makes you cry at different points in the book and gives you moments of joy where you're kind of pumping your fists in the air as well, you know it's a good read.
I think my favorite has to be the historical fiction Panther in the Sky, which is about someone called Tecumseh, who was a Shawnee chief and a very remarkable man. And I just love a historical fiction, essentially biography, which is just brought to life by amazing prose, intense action, and some really heartbreaking moments. So yeah, that was a visceral read for me, and it's really captured me. But there's lots of others. Moby Dick was just, it baptized me. I'm going to keep saying it because it's the only water pun I can think of off the top of my head.
Daniel, we'll probably be going for about an hour, won't we? We'll see kind of the questions that roll in.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be talking more about our own.
We like to waffle.
But I hope you enjoy your run to the store.
What store are you going to and what you're getting? Please let us know. Thank you, Dream Master. It's very kind of you.
Yeah, thank you.
Prophet of Adan is great. That's good news. I
feel like I'm going to be holding this up a lot.
See, we felt really smug when the Way of Adan was coming out, didn't we? Because we'd already read it.
We did.
But now we are behind officially.
Yeah, we have had a very busy last few weeks, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
So
what would you rate The Prophet of Adan? Haven't read it, but
one of my most anticipated reads, and one
out
of my
excitement,
next 3 reads.
10 out of 10.
Quickly, I'm just going to show. So I'm currently reading Guards, which I'm really enjoying. Probably not as much as Mort so far, but I have high hopes. And then these are going to be my next 3 reads. So we have Sons of Darkness, we have The Prophet of Adan, and we have Boudica. On the 6th of July, we will be doing a live on the Broken Binding Instagram page, talking with Gaurav Mahanti himself. And so, yeah, really looking forward to doing that. And yeah, pop over to the Broken Binding on the evening of the 6th.
What time is that?
I believe 7 p.m. BST.
Very nice. And Eugene, good to see you too. Although we can't see you, but good to see your name and what you've written with your thumbs, I presume. Esme, we have the same problem. Reading the first book and then forgetting.
Yeah, it's hard. I did a list.
Series.
I think I've got 40
and
series.
Philip is kind of forcing our hand, really, isn't he? Because he is releasing 3 books within 9 months, which is unheard of. He's taken, I think, over the title from Brandon Sanderson, probably. And I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. It's the year of Philip. The Chase Meister. Oh, that's really great to hear. I've got such high hopes, and I've only heard great things about The Prophet of Adan so far. And there we go. Another. Yeah, God of War Ragnarok. I've played a little bit here and there, but I need to knuckle down and finish it. Although I haven't got a PS5 at the moment. So yeah, definitely. Final Fantasy. That is a game I've never ever played, to be honest. But I'm seeing everyone on Twitter rave about it, and again, I'm getting FOMO. I'm gonna have to stick to Diablo for now. I'd never played Diablo before. I played Divinity and all of the Baldur's Gates when I was much younger, and absolutely loved them. Any kind of Dungeons and Dragons action RPG I will be involved in. So yeah, Diablo was a good choice for me, and I just like playing with my friends or Will, really. So yeah, that's exciting. And it's nice to do it with someone and, yeah, just talk about normal stuff. It is. It's fun, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's the trouble, isn't it? Time is the enemy. It is both friend and foe, and more often the foe, because we just run out of time. Yeah. But, yeah, so we just try and squeeze it in. But as we said, the last few weeks have been a bit slower because Ed's been playing Diablo 5. I've been incredibly busy with work. And you're in a 9 till 5. You got to escape the Matrix. It was an 8 till 8 actually, but yeah, not anymore. 8 till 8 is horrible. It's absolutely horrible. Yeah, we cannot wait to read The Faith and the Fallen again. I think I probably read it every year. You probably, because you're not as big a fan as me, you probably read it less, don't you? I read Malice 5 times in a year, Ed. And I actually read it earlier this year. It's gonna be the second time I read it this year. Same here. Wow. Exactly. Crazy. And yeah, anyway, just buzzing to read more Faith in the Fallen. Guy Gavriel K is someone who I would fight. No, I wouldn't fight him, but I'm not a huge fan of his works. I probably do need to read Under Heaven. I've heard good things about that. Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian and No Country for Old Men are my favorites of the year so far. 2 incredible books. That does not surprise me, because those books just are different from anything else you've ever read. They give you a completely new experience. Esme is reading Yellow Sky Revolt this month. We look forward to seeing your Goodreads review, Esme. That is awesome. Yeah, Esme reads at a pace that puts us to shame, everybody. So yeah, do go check out her Goodreads reviews. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing your thoughts on Yellow Sky Revolt. And again, Manda Scott not being on your list straight away, Will, is rectified it. I did rectify it. PL, the man is here. Hello, PL. Hope you are doing very, very well. We are looking forward to reading your books as well. The Drowned Kingdom saga is very high up on the list. It will be read this summer, and we will be chatting about it on the channel this summer. Esme, if you don't read Boudica this year, we're gonna have to report you. It will be a crime. Yeah, it's the only way I'm forward. To be honest, David, is the Rage of Dragons on your TBR? I'll do you one better than TBR. It's on the red pile, and it's in my favorite books. Not on the blue pile. All time. Yeah, it's one of my favorite reads of all time. And Ed, you absolutely loved it as well, didn't you? Yeah, I did. This is a book that William was really nagging me to read, and I was thinking, what do you know about fantasy? I read it, and I thought this was brilliant. So yeah, it's awesome, and I think Book 2 was great as well. Not quite as amazing as book 1, I don't think, but book 3 is going to be wicked.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
The Lord of Demons. What a title.
You are the Lord of Demons. Is that what you said? It did sound like you said that. You probably are, actually. Any more plans for Cormac McCarthy content? Yeah, so sad to see that he passed away during the last couple of weeks. It is, yeah, gutting. You know, he's produced so many amazing and wonderful works of art. It's just such a shame to see someone go, isn't it? Anyway, especially with someone with such a lasting impact.
Yeah,
as the
with
books that
especially
he's
with you,
written.
he's kind of what got you back into reading. You read the Sisters Brothers, didn't you? And that you hadn't read really for 4 or 5 years, and then it went on to Cormac McCarthy, didn't it?
Yeah, I read Blood Meridian on the bus, and that changed my life forever. Yeah, I can't look at buses.
And he's one of my favorite
now.
authors as well.
But we are looking forward to doing more Cormac McCarthy content. Definitely, we're in the process of reading all of his books and then doing a ranking, which would be awesome. Would absolutely love that.
I'll be reading All the Pretty Horses at some point.
If you read All the Pretty Horses, you have to go straight to The Crossing because that is amazing.
Jimmy,
yeah,
I think Jimmy loved All the Pretty Horses. Jimmy Nuts over at the Fantasy Network.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's the book that got him popular. Gary Bowles said, are there any books? Gary Bowles is also an author, so go check out his books. Are there any books that you've enjoyed even more on a reread?
The Silmarillion and Blood Meridian.
Yeah, I think every Cormac McCarthy book, because Cormac McCarthy's books are like Shrek. There are layers upon layers, sedimentary rock, and you get something out of it every single time you read it. I think on a reread as well, I think I enjoyed Giles Christian's Viking saga, the Sigurd series, a lot more on my second reread. Although I still rated them 5 stars the first read, but the second one just elevated them so much because I knew where the story was going. It's not really a complex story, but I felt like I knew the characters. It's like when you have a band or a group, you know, like a fellowship kind of trope, that you always prefer them when you reread them, don't you? Because you know where they've been, their experiences, definitely. So yeah, I think Giles Christian's works are like that when he has his fellowship going.
Yeah, Terry Pratchett is on the high end of the list for everybody, and yeah, so I've been rectifying that because I've only read Good Omens and More. Absolutely love them, and yeah, so Gars is probably his most beloved book. From what I've heard, obviously I only engage with a small group of Pratchett fans, but that's kind of the message that I've got.
36% into Sons of Darkness. Hopefully you're enjoying it, Esme. I'm really looking forward to it. It sounds like a very different type of fantasy, which we haven't read for a while, and it's grimdark as well, so that's good as well.
What more can you have?
Exactly. I haven't cracked the pages yet, but I'm looking forward to. The chase is indeed on, definitely. Jen, good to see you, and I hope Peterson was good. I'm sure it's better than this. Anyway, the chase music. That show is unrivaled. It's so good.
It's the tension, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Unparalleled.
Yeah. I'm Breen. Yeah, hello, and always talking about games, and I always feel like I need to catch up. And I'm always saying, aren't I, that I know I need to play this, I need to play that, and then I just lie and play something else. Or I just play Fable for the 100th time. Fable is probably the best game.
That's the game you kind of go back to for comfort, isn't it?
Yeah, it's my blanket. Does anyone else have a game that they just always go back to playing because it feels happy, like Skyrim? It's like that for me. And oh no, tendinitis is not pleasant at all. Are there any actors that you hope to see in the Best Served Cold movie? See, that is so good. I think Rebecca Ferguson is such a good casting for Monza.
Who would be Shivers?
That is a great question. I'd love to do a video on this, but yeah, and whoever could play Koska. I know I see people saying, is it Ian? No, Ian McShane, and I just think he's always typecast as that kind of person.
Who's he?
Ian McShane is in American Gods. He's also Deadwood.
Oh yeah, I know who you mean.
That kind of grizzled, old, quippy, funny guy. I
think I saw someone say Javier Bardem.
Javier Bardem as Koska would, yeah, he brings chaotic energy. Definitely, I'd love to see that. Shivers is probably is hard to cast because you want someone who's kind of like Logan, but a bit more subdued.
Yeah,
who's rugged. It's hard, isn't it?
It's really hard.
We need this. Is something I need to have a proper
Especially
think
in
about.
books that you love so much that you got kind of a vision of these people.
If I can see him in my head. If I look through my list of like favorite actors, which obviously everyone on their phone has, don't they? Polly said, "Have we read The Shadow Casket by Chris Wooding? Struggling to start it. Not yet, but I know Matt, who started The Broken Binding, is a huge Chris Wooding fan. Is it The Shadow Casket by him, or is it a different book?
I think that's both of them together.
What upcoming books are you excited to read later this year? Well, my most anticipated release was The Will of the Many, and now obviously Prophet of Idan, the new Empire the Vampire book. It's not coming out this year, is it? Or is it next year?
It might be early next year. And also Sean and Lawless's sequel to The Children of Gods and Fighting Men. Really looking forward.
Is it the words of Kings and Prophets?
Yes, it is. And so I really cannot wait to read that later this year. And I'm also looking forward to reading Dracula by Bram Stoker.
Oh, good shout, Will. Yeah, I'm looking forward to reading definitely more classics. American Psycho, I think, is something that's high up on my list. I need to watch the film as well. But yeah, Esme's reading pace really does put us to shame, and I think Esme should start her own BookTube channel. To be honest, I think we should get a poll going, a vote, definitely.
I think
because if we all vote
out a day as well, though.
100%. Esme, even if you slow down, you'll still be twice as fast as the rest of humankind. Carter, my man, hope you are doing well as well. Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
I saw Amanda Scott's Dreaming books at Secondhand Bookshop the other day and thought of you guys. So sad I didn't pick them up, but they didn't have book one.
That is sad.
That is heartbreaking.
And also, for those who have not read Boudica yet, but you're David Gemmell fans, well, David Gemmell is the only quote on the back of Dreaming the Serpent's Spear. And so, if that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will.
Hello, do you guys ever listen to music when reading? Yeah, pretty regularly. If so, what? When I read Shadow of the Gods earlier this year, I listened to some Nordic instrumental playlists, which added to the experience. That is a great idea. I think music really adds to the immersion. Obviously, you're not going to be listening to Little Mix whilst reading The Shadow of the Gods, because that wouldn't go, would it?
So I need to change what I listen to when I'm reading.
Out to my...
But soundtracks, usually instrumentals, and because in the garden I don't have any music on when I'm reading. I can kind of just sound. I like sound in the background when I'm reading.
Yeah, and I think listening to any like high lung during reading The Shadow of the Gods is definitely recommended, especially with headphones on. You don't want anyone else to hear the terrifying music. But yeah, I think high lung are great, and I regularly listen to them while reading Viking works, or sometimes, or also if you read anything Roman or like Boudica, I was listening to the Rome Total War soundtrack. So yeah, that's what I like to do. Definitely reading things that add to the immersion.
Well, SP, I think you're rubbing it in a bit because, we don't.
I have. Can you not tell? This is the extent really that it goes. And the only way I could get it longer is if I got a fake one from Amazon. And glued it on.
Yeah, our beards aren't as full and magnificent as Papa Gwyn's, or Kratos, as he's sometimes called.
Yeah, he does look like Kratos, to be fair. But again, perfect Shivers casting. It's
very difficult.
It's just so hard to choose, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
We'll have to come back to you at a later time.
See, if he was younger, Carl Urban, I think would be great.
Do you think?
Yeah, 100%. That would be wicked. I'd love to see that. The Judge is one of the most intriguing characters, to put it lightly, I've ever read.
I agree.
There is a film coming out of Blood Meridian, apparently, and I believe Cormac McCarthy was actually writing the script. So seeing The Judge on screen would be very strange, and I'm sure it would. Well, hopefully, it would be what our minds imagine it to be.
Terrifying.
But, yeah, hopefully. I just thought, who could you cast as the Judge? You just couldn't really.
No,
definitely not, because it needs to be someone who is a monster. Is like huge, and terrifying, and
physically and metaphorically.
I mean, he's based on Milton's Satan, so someone pretty special has got to take that on.
It's true. Some of my favorite audiobooks, Neil Gaiman, he narrates his books absolutely brilliantly, and that's who I'd say. Who would you say? Stephen.
Anything that Philip Stevens narrates.
Yeah.
The first law books are also amazing on Audible. I really like the Red Rising narrator, actually. I've just started listening to Iron Gold, which is a really weird experience because it's definitely very different to the Red Rising trilogy. But I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm kind of in alien land at the moment, but I know it's sci-fi, but not literally. But yeah, I'm enjoying it at the moment. But yeah, favorite audiobooks, anything Philip Stevens narrates. I'm listening to the Boudica series, and that has been brilliant so far.
That and talking
Ooh.
about Philip Stevens, the narrator of Lancelot and Camelot, 2 brilliant historical fiction Arthurian retellings by Giles Christian.
What was book 3 called? Is it called Arthur? It's not called Arthur, is it?
The title's been released.
Yeah, I think so.
Can someone put in the chat what the title for book 3 is?
Come on,
called,
it's a duck, please.
Please do it.
That's a bingo.
And it is great to see you here. Hopefully you're enjoying the chat so far. And hopefully you enjoy the heartbreak of the last 100 pages of Wrath.
Yeah, truly heartbreaking. Did you guys watch The Last Kingdom?
I watched the film.
I watched the first 4 seasons. I think I stopped when I didn't enjoy it as much. I think the 3rd season was amazing, but 4th one wasn't quite there. And I just keep meaning to catch up, but I'm just getting lazy with catching up.
I do intend to watch season 5 and watch the film, but I'm leaving the film until I've read the final installment because I've got 1 book to go in the books.
That's got to be coming up soon, hasn't it?
Very, very soon.
Hello, Brady. When are you guys getting on the Malazan train reading Gardens of the Moon now? I'm loving it. I've read Gardens of the Moon and I thought it was great. Some of the best moments of fantasy are in that book, but then the other 90% of it was very confusing. And I'm looking forward to definitely reading it again in the future. I will go back to it. It's a series I will conquer. I'm not going to let it beat me, but just not for a little while, I reckon.
Not for a while.
I want to be like buzzing for it, you know, so. Yeah.
And I intend to read it pretty soon. I'm not going to say a date because it's a very big kind of commitment and I want to be ready for it. But yeah, so looking forward to it.
I think it's a book that you get out what you put in. So
yeah.
If you really give it your all, like you're going to get a lot out of it. If you're willing to dive into it, if you're willing to, you know, to give yourself to the dance.
Give myself to the dance.
You'll be jigging.
3rd person more consistently, but when 1st person is done well, it really hits home.
Historical fiction, coming of age, 1st person is elite. That's, yeah, love it. Gardens of the Moon is a banger.
I hope I agree when I pick it up.
Yeah, The Chase is the most addictive show.
It is, isn't it?
It is. It really Bradley Walsh is hilarious.
He is.
Oh, 25%.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that because of, well, we have pretty similar reading tastes as well. A lot of the time we agree. So yeah, it bodes well for our reading experience.
Chase by name, Chase by nature. Here we go. Nice to see you, Philip.
Hope you're having a great time. And thank you so much for our copies of The Prophet of Adan. Cannot wait to dive in.
And what music are we listening to at the moment? Well, I did a barbecue, aka a barbecue party at my house, didn't I? And it took me a day to make the playlist, which
that was your favorite part,
36 hours long. So I'm just listening to that now. The sun's out and it's got basically a lot of funk on. There's a festival near us, which is all like funk and soul. We saw Earth, Wind and Fire once, so that's what I'm listening to at the moment. Lots of that stuff. I also like to listen to someone called Tom Misch, very like neo soul-ish.
Yeah.
What about you, Will?
Well, pretty similar. That summery vibe. The sun has just started to come out, and so yeah, really getting into that kind of summer spirit.
So William never listened to music until he was like 14. We'd always have Elvis on in the house, wouldn't we? But you decided that you wanted to then listen to your own music. And William, usually like teenagers go through phases for a while. They have like their metal phase, their pop phase, their rock phase, all sorts. William went through all of the phases in a week. He went from Tom Jones to Red Hot Chili Peppers to
I had to be
Blink 182. Yeah. And now here you are.
And here I
made
am.
It to
many
the
a
other
year
side
later. Oh, I need to watch Succession. Heard very good things about
I've heard
it.
great
and I'm
things
glad
about
that you're enjoying it, SP.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. When I've got a few in a row, right? I've gone so far to think.
A few in a row. You need to go on there.
I've thought, oh, I should go on here, and then I get the next 15 wrong.
That's why that
humbles me.
I don't watch
after.
University Challenge because it's always wrong. Sean Bean for Glockter.
I can actually.
You bastard.
I can see it a bit. I can see it.
Ian McShane. He's also in Game of Thrones. He is. Yes, I can't remember what character he is, but I think he's with the Hound or something. Spoiler alert. But yeah. He definitely is. Jeremy Irons as Costa. That is a bold choice, Christian. But you've met Jeremy Irons, haven't you? Can you see him as Costco?
A little bit. It depends.
He's usually the stoic mentor, but I think Jeremy Irons would be a great bad guy.
Yeah, he would.
He would be a great Beaz.
He could be a good
He
Bayaz.
shaved his head and
He
bulked
was
up a bit.
Scar in The Lion King, so he's already a nasty man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that
can't
is-
believe that we're going to see Shivers before. I mean, I think it's such a good idea because Best Served Cold, Joe literally wrote them as movies. You know, Best Served Cold is, I think it's Point Blank. I think it's a Tommy Lee Marvin film, I think, and it's like a crime one essentially. And he basically wrote it like that. And then The Heroes is A Bridge Too Far, and then you've got Red Country is essentially his version of, you know, the outlaw Josie Wells, Unforgiven, that kind of thing. So they do suit that film style. And then once people get behind it, they can then go and do the first Law. But it's going to be hard because there's a lot of context that you're missing, a lot of references, but references aren't everything.
Well, I was going to say, I think in Best Served Cold you can get away, but The Heroes you cannot get. I don't think you can.
No, you can't do The Heroes.
So it is interesting they're doing that because they won't then be able to do a film with The Heroes before doing something about the original First Law trilogy. Yeah,
definitely. And Ambreen with The Witcher 3 is my comfort game. Yeah, definitely. I love The Witcher and it is great. I really enjoy The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3 is just brilliant. It's just such a big game and I just love it. Geralt is a great character. And I finished my 5th rerun of The Last of Us. I need to really play that. And I haven't played either of them yet, actually. But
neither.
I did enjoy the program. I did enjoy that.
Same here. I haven't watched the program though. And Jen, I am with you 100%.
Yeah, historical fantasy is brilliant. American Psycho, yeah.
And Gates of Fire.
Are you enjoying it at the moment? Because I definitely want to read it soon.
And so do I. And Gates of Fire, what a book.
Gates of the Thermopylae, that battle is utterly insane. The way he writes that, probably one of the best battles I've read. Like, it's just so immersive. The details in that are like nothing else I've ever read.
So immersive,
Good
but
to
also
see
a
you,
lot of
Mac.
detail as well.
Good to see you again. Just finished the Dandelion Dynasty. Yeah, I really like Ken Liu's short stories. So I definitely want to read this series. I've had such amazing things, especially from Patrick. Patrick loves it, doesn't he?
Everyone seems to love it lately.
Definitely. But I'd like to read some more Ken Liu. I haven't heard of the Arthurian Age, but Arthur, I'm there.
That was my exact thoughts.
Jen says, how old are we guys? So I'm 19 and you're 26, aren't you? No. Yeah. I'm 26.
I'm 20.
You're 20.
Not
sorry.
19. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just this.
Yeah. I'm 20 and Ed is 26.
We should wear some fake beards actually, and yeah, I would do that.
There's always next time, isn't there?
Vincent D'Onofrio as the judge. Yeah, I see that. Yeah, I can, but he's always. I just don't ever think, is he in the Magnificent Seven, the new one? And I'm just not too mad on him. But he's the only guy who is bald and is tall.
Oh, is he the one in Daredevil as well?
He is, yeah. Kingpin, yeah, definitely. But yeah, it's a very popular choice, and also, who am I? Who am I to say no? But I couldn't choose anyone else. So yeah, I love the Boudica audiobooks. 100%.
I do plan to reread them through listening to them.
Yeah, definitely. Scott says, how Papa Gwyn getting on with book 3? There'll be news eventually in the future, but just gotta be patient, and it will be worth it 100%. Do you want to read?
I was just reading it. Yeah.
No, you out loud, Will. Come on.
Just about to start buddy reading with my grandson. Final Boudica. Yes, your channel's given us a great bond, 50 years apart and across the world. Oh, well, that is just an honor to say that kind of we've helped introduce Boudica and helped that, because reading does bring people together. It's amazing what reading can do, because not only does it give an experience for you to kind of immerse yourself in and learn from and really kind of live those emotions, but something to bond and to talk to other people about as well. It's the wonder of reading.
Yeah, that really is an honor. That's probably one of the nicest comments we've had of this. Yeah, what a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching, and we're glad that we can help out in any way, and you don't get too bored of us. So thank you. Glad you're enjoying Boudica as well. SB said, have you guys listened to anything by Will Wheaton? I listened to Ready Player One and Project Hail Mary, both read by him. They were insane. I actually listened to a snippet of Project Hail Mary recently.
Did you?
And I thought it sounded really good. So I'm definitely going to, listen to it soon. Will Wheaton, yeah, definitely.
I do intend to read it soon, and The Martian as well. And now Project Hail Mary. I loved the film with The Martian, and now Project Hail Mary is going to have a film with Ryan Gosling in.
Ryan Gosling's great, so yeah, definitely going to read it. I'll probably listen to it as well, SP, if you're enjoying it. So yeah, 100%.
I've read the first 2 books of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn. Yeah, I think it's that way around. And Angel Tower. But then I stopped for exams and never went back. So yeah, I committed sacrilege.
I met Tad Williams when I was like 14, and he was a really, really cool guy.
Was
so
he?
I definitely like to read more of him or some of him at all. No, actually, we don't really read much, Sanderson, do we?
I've read one book.
Yeah, that is the hashtag to
give myself to the dance.
Yeah. Pesto Pasta said the worst season of The Last Kingdom is still far better than the last half of Vikings, although I love both shows. Yeah, the first half of Vikings was, for me, amazing. I absolutely loved it. Ragnar was just such a great character. And then they decided to do some really strange things with his growth. But yeah, definitely any Viking program I still watch, even if they wear
be there
black leather. According to the blog post Giles Christian made back in January, it will indeed be called Arthur. Thank you. It's a duck.
Thank you.
Nice. And Calvin, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. We have not read The Dark Tower. Philip Chase said we definitely need to watch it, especially
I've read book 1. But I listened to it and I understood what was going on, but I didn't click with it. So I think I'm going to go back and read it physically.
Very nice. Very nice.
And yeah, Philip Chase, it's because of how much he's talked about it. And my book reviews as well. So that I need to dive in.
Love a Western, love Stephen King's writing. So definitely need to give it a go. I haven't seen the film though. I heard the film wasn't great, but Matthew McConaughey and Idris Elba, surely it should be good.
It should be good.
But thanks for recommending The Winter King. I absolutely loved it. It was such a joy and the kind of book I love. Will, you're the Arthur Chronicles, the Warlord Chronicles champion, aren't you?
Yes, yeah. I am. I absolutely adore anything Arthurian, basically. And yeah, what a series that whole trilogy is. Absolutely adore it all. I think the first 40-50 pages of The Winter King, I thought, yeah, this is good. And then the next 600-700 pages of this series, I thought was absolutely incredible. And so, yeah, there we go.
Hard agree. Have you seen Ned Lasso? No, my friend at work was saying I need to watch it. I haven't got Apple TV, but I'm going to binge it over the summer because it sounds like something I would really enjoy. We're big football fans over here in the UK, aren't we? So yeah, I would. We definitely like to watch it. It does look hilarious, and people say they really get into it, and it's like really intense.
We 100%
challenge for you. Can you guys summarize The Way of Adan in 30 seconds? Now, do you mean summarize because I wouldn't want to spoil it for anyone, or do you mean summarize the premise? William, you're really good at summaries.
Well, I'd say that is a great blend of classic and modern fantasy. Classic in the sense of kind of the prose kind of got a bit of an ethereal feel, maybe a bit like Ursula Le Guin from what I've read of her writings. It's got a bit of that feel mixed with Tolkien's, but then very morally grey characters. We've got a lot of machinations going in the background. We've got some religious prophecies going on, and yeah, it's all coming into the time where it's all kind of the fate of the land is going to be decided, or so people believe. And then the people we follow are kind of dragged into it, some wanting to bring it about, and others it's unbeknownst to them that they're being dragged into bigger things than themselves.
It's a classical fantasy approach written by someone who loves history. So there we go. And the Brothers Gwyn live. Good to see you, Steve. Hope you are keeping well. Steve has a great booktube channel, so definitely go and check out his reads over there. Also, just got my hand, hello Mac again, got my hand on a leather-bound special edition of the Flatoibok Norse sagas. Very nice. And the Heimskringla is a book that is very, very fun for people who love the Norse sagas and all that. I do love a Norse saga. They have this kind of strange wit to them and just a focus that is very different to many other kind of classical texts, don't they? I think they're very down to earth, really.
Mm-hmm.
And you really get a feel for who they were as a people, as a culture and society through what has been written, even just reading the long list of names, which Tolkien pillaged, which for good reason, because there's some great names.
For good reason. And we've not actually read any of Sharp, so we're not quite sure.
Yeah.
But hopefully we'll be able to answer your question.
Yeah. We'll ask Sean Bean
at some point soon. So I would say reading the Blade itself is far preferable because there's a lot of references to the original trilogy in Best Served Cold in a way where they're Easter eggs, but I still think that it makes the read far more enjoyable. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, I think reading the first law is you just have to do it. It's like when you read, Game of Thrones. You need to read Game of Thrones from book one, don't you? So yeah, because there is a lot to the world of the first law. So yeah, definitely go and read the first law first. Although Best of Cold is great and they are written as standalones, but I think you get a lot more out of them if you know the context because they're far funnier that way.
They are
and
funnier as well.
and Shivers.
There is a specific reference in the Blade itself to a certain crazy character as well, which isn't put in by name, so you'd only get it if you'd read the original trilogy, and it's worth reading them just for that one reference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there are references, and Joe really does drip them in, doesn't he? In a great way. So yeah, 100%. And the First Law trilogy is hopefully going to come to the screen as well. But yeah, the King's Appearance.
And I'm just so happy that is going to be.
That is so true. The King's Appearance. I won't spoil it either. We'll work together, Jack. We won't spoil it. I tried the Dandelion Dynasty, easiest DNF I've ever done. Oh, YSP, what was it that made you DNF? Now I've just seen someone is swearing at us in the channel, in the chat. I DNF Gates fire. Calvin, we were getting on so well.
You can't say that.
Oh
to us.
no, Stephen Pressfield is in the chat as well, and he's gonna get the Spartans on you, but that's a shame, Calvin. Calvin, I would skip the whole beginning and just read the battle, please. I think you'd probably enjoy that. Have you guys ever played Total War? Do stars twinkle? Absolutely. Total War was our bread and butter growing up, wasn't it? Haven't played them for a little while, but I still sometimes go back to Rome 2. I remember watching Dad play Shogun 1 on the PC, and it was like a renaissance for me. I was 4 and I absolutely loved it.
And now how old are you?
We still quote what the daimyo's strategist would shout to him. It's like, noble lord, just such good. Your enemy's running like a whipped dog. We still say it to each other over dinner anyway. Jen B, hello. What are some good some books that you guys want that you haven't got to yet? Will?
1.
See, Jen, I could be here for hours. I could hold them
3.
up, but I think
Live Ship Traders.
Probably the book that is screaming to me is The Will of the Many, mostly. Definitely all of the Red Rising books as well after the first trilogy. That's why I'm getting to them now. And another book that I really want to get to is.
You did say that you are feeling the urge to read Clash of Kings.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't really felt the urge to continue Game of Thrones until last week when I think I saw a lot of Game of Thrones scenes on TikTok, and I just forgot how good it is. Yeah. And I just really want to go and read it. Just finished Like Wolves. That is great that someone read it. Yeah, I'm so glad you enjoyed it. It is this fantastic, very authentic, Western set from mostly a Comanche perspective, and it is really interesting reading. There was a historical advisor who really helped out with the project, and I've been talking with the author D.A. Vega on Goodreads, and yeah, definitely I'd say people should go and read Like Wolves. It is a very interesting book. It's very different, very out there, but it really grasps, if you love the 19th century, especially if you are fascinated by the Comanche band, then then it's a book to read because it is intense.
So I don't really think there are any that I've loved that everyone seems to dislike. There's ones that I think they don't get enough love, like Mike Shackle's We Are the Dead. Basically, everyone I've seen has read that, has loved it, but then hardly any people compared to like who we talked to has picked it up. They need to do it.
Yeah, I think people who read We Are the Dead don't really tend to dislike it. I think the one book that I don't like is Tigana by Guy Gabriel Kay, and lots of people love that. I wish I loved it because I am a big fan of nice prose and fantastical places, but it just wasn't for me. And a book that I really like, but people seem to dislike.
Echoes, The Name of the Rose, probably for me is one I really didn't like that a lot of people seem to love.
And I think Deb Mann's Walk by Larry McMurtry is a book that I really enjoyed, but not too many people do. Unfortunately, which of you is the better swordsman, and could your dad beat you with an axe?
Me and Papa Gwyn will
I'm
beat us
better
both.
with the sword.
You are better Viking, but I think medieval longsword. I think I'd have you.
No, if you actually put armor on and you can't move so
No,
fast.
I'm armored, just like
not really, but Gary, it could be anyone's fight.
Ed would definitely
medieval.
win if it is a Viking
Yeah,
sword.
and you're very fast. Admittedly, you are good. But if Dad tried it on with an axe, I would
He'd beat
say
us
let's
both.
work together and destroy him. But he would win. You know the guy at Stamford Bridge who just stood on the bridge and fought the
It's Papa
Saxons
Gwyn.
for hours? Yeah, Papa G. He has a crazy look in his eyes when he holds an axe, which is a bit scary. Thank you for ditching Peter Sinchen. That's very kind of you. Yeah, Dad did live in Canada.
Well, it was more traveling, wasn't it? So he was there for a few months, but it wasn't living as such, like for years.
He stayed there for a while, and he just did a little bit of work here and there with his friends. And he really enjoyed it.
He said it was beautiful there.
Vancouver, saw killer whales, which I'm very envious of. Mark Lawrence, the man, is in the chat.
Hello,
Good
Mark.
To see Mark Lawrence.
Hope you're doing well. We both absolutely love the book that wouldn't burn. And so, people haven't picked it up already. Yeah. What are you doing? Go and pick it up. We've got a review on the channel if you haven't watched it already and you want to check out, is this a book for you? Because in our reviews, we don't just say, oh yeah, we love this and this is why. We say, well, if you enjoy this, you should pick it up. So yeah, we try not to just be so subjective throughout the entire thing.
And Mark, when are you reading or writing Grimdark again? Come on, we need some more. It's where you started. I have a feeling you might enjoy Dark Tower, gents. We trust you, Philip, with our lives and with our reading taste. So we will definitely give it a go.
I second that.
And Tyra agrees that it is on the list. So that'd be awesome. Hey, Awesome Brothers, did you ever finish Scalped by Jason Aaron? No, I haven't actually started it yet. I really would like to read it. I believe it's a graphic novel, which I think is set in the modern day, but I can't quite remember. But yeah, I just remember seeing the cover and thought, yeah, that looks pretty cool.
I have not started it either.
No, we need to read more graphic novels, really, don't we? Bibliahound, I started to download The Witcher 3 a few hours ago. Yeah, you will be waiting a while. So we'll see you in a month. Let us know how far the percentage has downloaded, but it won't be too much. SB. Well, I won't say anything because of spoilers, but everyone has their faults, I will say. Everyone has their, positives, and I don't think you should judge her too much. It's a hard world.
Frida is a good character.
And Lycos is a good character as well. Lycos and the Vinthalan remind me of the Corsairs of Umbar from Tolkien's world. And I should have just said Middle Earth, really, shouldn't I? What's your preferred order for the Lonesome Dove books? It's a great question. Now, the most common one is go straight to Lonesome Dove. I went a bit rogue and I did Dead Man's Walk first and then Comanche Moon and then Lonesome Dove because I wanted to know the characters when they were younger. I typically prefer a coming of age style. So that's why, but it completely depends on you. Lonesome Dove is a book that I think pretty much 99% of people will love. Dead Man's Walk is a book that it's 50-50 whether you'll love it or you won't get on with it as much. So I think, yeah, probably Lonesome Dove just to ensure that you do love it. But Larry McMurtry has an amazing Western voice. Grimdark Lawrence in the chat. Dream Master knows what is up. I completely agree. Oh, thank you, Philip.
You're too kind, Philip.
William tried really hard.
I did. I put my every single ounce. It's so hard to summarize books that you love, isn't it? Because there's so much. Oh, I love the coming of age aspect. I love the friendship. I love the found family so much. But then, I can't be rambling about it for 15 minutes when I've been asked for a quick summary.
Yeah, 30 seconds. And it's definitely longer. SP, some great comments today. Who is the most despicable character in the Banished Lands?
It's hard, isn't it?
It has to be Rafe.
Rafe. Yeah.
Anyone who steals someone's wooden sword is not a nice person. Who else? Oh, there's so many answers. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but or Kraft. When you meet Kraft, he's just a despicable guy.
Yeah, definitely.
Stealer. Mark Lawrence in the house. What a guy. Speaking of I'll say about Mark Lawrence. Now, I was doing my A-levels, which is about 10 years ago, and this is at a phase when I didn't really read too much. I read Dad's books, and that was it, and The Hobbit every so often. And Dad showed me Mark Lawrence's work, and I to stop revising, this is how much I procrastinate. I literally blitz through that trilogy, and I absolutely loved it. The Prince of Thorns, the Broken Empire trilogy. No, is it? Yeah, it's Broken Empire, isn't it? And that was absolutely brilliant, and that like made me rediscover my love for fantasy and grimdark as well. So that was a big kind of canon of my life, really. Pesto pasta.
I'm not.
It's a great meal, actually. Pesto pasta. I do love pesto. Not as much as we love peanut butter and jelly. We've never had so many comments about jelly on our videos, which is quite surprising.
Anything, really.
Actually. Yeah,
you've got more comments than the chats about.
I feel like I know more about jelly than or marmalade than
I just
than Paddington.
Can't get behind PB&J.
PB&J. I could try it. But you are a peanut butter fiend.
I am a peanut butter fiend, but not with jam jelly.
Yeah, I don't really eat peanut butter anymore because my missus is she's allergic to peanuts.
I couldn't cope with that.
I don't really, but hang on. Speaking of the Winter King,
I'm not getting my hopes up. I am going to watch it no matter what because it's one of my favorite trilogies. But from what I've seen,
it's hard to adapt. I think The Last Kingdom's quite fairly simple to adapt, but I think The Warlock Chronicles is quite difficult. And seeing the cast so far, I haven't heard of pretty much 99% of them. So sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing. When that happened with The Wheel of Time, that was a bad thing. Happened with Rings of Power, that's a terrible thing. Excuse me.
Yeah, because usually, in my opinion, I want some older cast members who are well known and respected, but then you don't need to know the younger ones. But when you don't know any of them, you think, is it going to be high quality? Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. You can never know for sure, can you, until you watch it. And so, yeah, part of the surprise, whether it be good or bad. But yeah, fingers crossed.
Steve, number one question. When do readers get books by the next Gwyn generation? What are you guys both writing? Will, do you want to go first?
Well, I'm not writing anything, but I'm researching.
You have been writing, though.
When?
Recently.
Well, no, I was doing research.
You've got things on the go.
Well, yeah, I've done a full kind of chapter by chapter plan. But that doesn't mean I'm actually going to be able to write it at any point soon. When I have some free time, then I'll kind of go on a bit of a binge, I think. But yeah, doing more research at the moment. But Ed, you are far further in the process, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got a Comanche inspired fantasy on the boil at the moment, so which has been really fun to go through actually and start writing. I've had a few meetings with Papa Gwyn about the plan of it and written quite a few chapters now. So yeah, it's really exciting. Just really inspired by history, but I wanted to, my bread and butter is fantasy, and I wanted to put it into a fantastical setting. So yeah, and it's really fun, and that's the main thing, isn't it? That it's fun, and writing is fun, and I think it's made me read in a different way, and I definitely appreciate writers and these subtle kind of differences a lot more than I would have if I hadn't been writing. So even if I don't get published, it still adds to the reading experience. So yeah, but thank you, Steve. Good question.
Looking forward to writing some more, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Papa Gwyn, he's not actually read much lately, but he is wanting to read some westerns. And
but when he does read, and when he has read before, we do regularly talk about. I mean, we get most of our recommendations from Papa Gwyn, to be honest, because
his library.
He truly has read like so many books, way more books than we've read, hasn't he?
A lot more,
100%,
like 1,000 books, probably.
Good question.
I have not, and it's another bit on the huge TBR pile.
No, but I challenge you to say that word after a few pints. Who does swear?
That's the question, isn't it?
I completely agree. If you DNF Gates of Fire, then I'm really sad. Calvin, what have you done to me?
What have you done?
What did you think of the new Fable game announcement, by the way? I'm mixed opinions, but it wasn't really gameplay, was it? But it did have that kind of British humor. So I'm hopeful. I watched the trailer again today, actually, earlier on. And yeah, I'm definitely hopeful. I think if it's anywhere near level of games 1 and 2, then it will be amazing. So I'm just going to hold out for the hero of Fable. But did you enjoy it, Ambrin? I'm not sure if many people did, to be honest. Looking on Twitter, it didn't seem to go too well.
Wasn't received too well. Hi, Colin's Corner. Hope you're doing well, and thank you for joining us today.
Appreciate it. Let's be basically constant long flashbacks of characters in Totally Toad and Shell, exposition pages and pages. Is this about the Dandelion Dynasty? That's a shame. Constant swishing. Yeah, without first getting us to like the characters already introduced. Really didn't like the writing style. That is it, really. If you don't gel with the writing style, then it's hard to power through. If you do gel with the writing style, you can put up with a lot, can't you?
Yeah, it's true. You can be a lot more forgiving.
Dream Master, what a great question. Have you seen What We Do in the Shadows? Absolutely. It is so funny. It is hilarious. Taika Waititi at his best, really. And yeah, it's a good laugh. It's a kind of a mockumentary about vampires in New Zealand, and it is well worth a watch. If you like vampires, I'm sure Jay Christoph has enjoyed it, and Stephen King. And Ed, did you pick up Stella Maris after The Passenger? I held it, but I haven't read it yet. I'm going to be reading it over the next couple of months, I think. But yeah, it looks like an interesting companion novel. I'm tempted to wait to read it and then read it and then reread The Passenger. So I might wait till I'm ready to reread The Passenger.
You should definitely read Stella Maris first, though, before you
do you reckon?
read it.
Okay,
100%.
so maybe I'll do that first then. Have you guys, or would you ever read the Nevernight Chronicles? Yes. I'm a big fan of Jay Christoph's writing. Empire of the Vampire is great, and also the Lotus Wars I'm really enjoying so far. So I would definitely go and read the Nevernight Chronicles afterwards, but I haven't yet. So yeah,
it's a yes from me as well.
After Lonesome Dove, Dead Man's Walk is the best. Yeah, Jen, I definitely agree. I think Comanche Moon is also great. I think I love the Comanche POVs in that, which just add a lot. But yeah, Gus and Call are just so much fun in Dead Man's Walk.
And definitely. I need to read it. I'm feeling left out.
You do. If you could go to any fantasy world, where would you
go?
Shire. The Shire.
It's the only place that I'd survive.
Definitely. If you go to any time period, when would you go to?
It's a good question. Ooh,
I mean, am I going to survive? I'm going to assume that I'm going to survive. Just to see it, I think I would love to see... I mean, the Boudica time period, I'd love to see, or maybe before the Romans invaded, to see Celtic society would be amazing because there's just so many questions. Anything
or
that we
80
don't need,
years in the future, to see how things change.
19th century, the Great Plains would be fascinating to see. Or also, you want to go sci-fi, do you? In the
future, yes. See what's
thinking
going on.
outside the box. There is no box for you. You are the box.
Thanks, Ed.
But
sounds like we're in Dune or something.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? The box is the mind killer. One of your first videos I watched was reviewing Rivers of London. Did you ever continue with the series? What did you think of it? That was a long time ago. So thank you, Rob, for sticking with us all that time.
Yeah, so I've read 5 installments and yeah, thoroughly enjoyed them. I think book 4 I thought was a little bit of a dip, but book 5 immediately returned to the greatness of the series. And yeah, I need to return to it. It's fantastic. I love that every single book is enjoyable. I think it might even be 6. The one, Foxglove Summer, I think is called, was the last one I read, and that's where he is taken out of his comfort zone a bit, which I absolutely loved.
I was tempted to carry it on, but I read Moon Over Soho, which is book 2, and it's all about jazz musicians in Soho, and I've got my Miles Davis t-shirt on, so I love jazz, and I just couldn't see it being topped. So I haven't got to it since, but I would definitely like to. My favorite house in A Song of Ice and Fire. Ooh,
Starks.
Yeah, Starks.
Baratheons are quite cool.
Although my favorite character is Jaime Lannister, but I just don't like Cersei. So you have to like all the Starks, but I don't really like Sansa. But she's less bad than the others. I know Tyrells are pretty cool.
I do like the Baratheons. They're all very cool in different ways.
Or the House of Dawn. Yeah. I would, yeah. Another vote for The Dark Tower. Thank you, Lord Oracle. You're going to listen to someone with the name Lord Oracle, wouldn't you?
It is a must, really, isn't it?
100%. The most despicable character in the Banished Lands will always be Jail. Oh, great shout. He should go to jail, really, shouldn't he?
Oh, nicely done, Ed.
Cheers,
nicely
guys.
Done.
Cheers.
Talk to reading snack. Oh,
Kinder Bueno. Great chocolate bar. Or Viennese swirls. So, yeah.
I like a simple digestive because you can't have stuff that's going to stick to your fingers or anything.
True.
You can't damage the book.
Yeah, true. Or Doritos. A-levels. What A-levels did we do? So that's our college level. I did law. But don't bank on me getting you out of any crimes. What did I do? Law, English language, sociology, and science.
Very nice.
I tried history, but the bloke didn't have a fun voice.
So you dropped it. Yeah. I did English, history, and theatre studies.
Oh, Yeah, Will was very good at acting. It's terrifying actually when he watches a film and then does a bit of method acting to become that character. So it's really scary when you watch a film like Split or Apocalypse Now, isn't it?
It is a bit. I find it scary. I wouldn't say I'm a great actor though.
Broken Empire was also my coming back to fantasy series after finishing my engineering degree. My friend recently did an engineering degree, and it sounds like a very intense time. So yeah, but Broken Empire is a great series, and I definitely think you should read it soon, Will. Hello, and hello. SP, don't worry about it. I'm always spoiling things for William and everyone else around me. So don't worry about it. I'm sure everyone here, if they like us anyway.
Yeah, no worries
I'm sure
at all.
they love The Faith from the Fallen anyway. So good old peanut butter and jelly. So if Mr. Chase likes it, I'm sure
now I just have to try it, don't I?
A Dutch recipe is peanut butter with ketchup and cucumber slices.
This is getting crazier.
I would definitely not try that one because I
feel like we're very
cucumber
sheltered because it's just been plain peanut butter.
We have a diet of the hobbits. Hobbits is really actually the only thing I wouldn't eat that hobbits eat is mushrooms. I'm not a big fan of mushrooms, which has always been a source of embarrassment for me because obviously my dream is to be
a hobbit.
It's to be a hobbit.
Well, you know what, Mark? I think Ed's been blaming you for years. So yeah, it's a bit late.
I got out of jail because I said to Papa Gwyn, I said, well, you really expect me to do well after I've been reading The Broken Empire? And he said, okay.
He did.
Fair enough, I'll let you off.
Sadly, it didn't work with the exam.
Mum wasn't very happy though. But
the examiners didn't take as kind of view, did they?
No, those are nasty invigilators.
Nasty invigilators.
Hello, Jen. The bookworm.
That's a great name.
That's the only way to spell bookworm, by the way.
Definitely. I agree. Mm-hmm. I do agree. Hello again, Jen. Yes, I really look forward to your book as well, Ed.
Thank you, Jen. That's really kind of you. I put I'll probably put some snippets up on our Patreon at some point in the future. That'll be pretty fun. The Sun is very gruesome. I think it's read by Will Patton, who's a great narrator. He's actually in Yellowstone, Will Patton, and but hopefully you enjoy it, Jen. It's a very different book, but it's very authentic, and I know Philip Meyer he did his research properly, definitely.
You are right, Philip. He did have a tiny head start, but also it's crazy how he's just consistently read so much throughout his entire life.
I've never known anyone with a memory like Papa Gwyn.
So I remember I was reading. It was Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, and he hadn't read it for 25 years, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
And he was telling me the characters' names. Where I was like, "Oh, what's their name?" And he just told me. He just remembers stuff like that. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's a genius.
Mm-hmm, he is. How often do you two get recognized in public for your channel? Haven't had to do any autographs yet, but should be any day.
Never. But one of my friends did say that they mentioned that I'm on the Brothers Gwyn, and she said that the person they worked with said, "No way, I watched that channel."
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the closest we've got.
Worldwide domination hasn't happened yet, but
not quite yet.
On the way. Umbrian says definitely on the fence with the trailer, but again, it isn't gameplay yet. So hopefully Fable will be starting to look at the Avatar game, which looks pretty cool. When they said co-op, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll play it.
We will.
Have you heard of the Avatar game?
Yes.
Yeah, it does look quite cool. I saw some snippets.
It did look really cool.
And
it would obviously be very visual, which will be awesome.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Well, I think the only thing we want is more, because the more the better with Papa Gwyn's works, and we just want to know so much more about these characters. And there's nothing that I'd really say I'd change in that way. Although he does say that he wishes, obviously, when he was first writing his first few books, he put so many ideas into the first series that he didn't have as major plot points, and he said he might have taken a few of those away so that he could use them to a better level in books further down the line. But now he's used them, so he can't use them again.
D.A. Vega, great to see you. Really, really good to see you. D.A. Vega is a person who wrote Like Wolves, Como Lobos. So definitely go and check that out. And D.A. Vega, great author, great writer. And good to see you.
Jen is fantastic at getting me to read books, because with True Grit, you made sure that I felt so guilty about not reading it yet that I had to pick it up.
And you had to read Shane.
And so after. I feel like you've taken up the next book already that I'll have to be picking up very soon.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost of Kings in the last
Favorite-
10 years. Wow,
Oh,
that is
wow.
high praise indeed. I'm really looking forward to reading it. And yeah, it's great to hear that what you've loved about it in particular.
I always love
is
reading
the character work. And we are
always-
character-driven readers. So.
Yeah, we are. I always love reading Mac's comments on our videos because there's just such a huge list of books I've usually never even heard of. And it's, yeah, it does hurt the TBR. But if you look at our videos, look at the comments, definitely check out Mac's comments because, yeah, really good recs there.
Group of 5. That is a fantastic question. Okay, Macwin.
Corban, Storm.
Macwin, Orca, Valen Alsorna, Bayaz. You've got to have some evil in there, don't you? And Fingolfin.
Oh, I had
From
to
the
be someone
Silmarillion.
from the Silmarillion.
It's got to be done.
I would choose.
If you want to see further of when we've actually thought about this, you can watch our Build Your Own Warband tag.
Yeah, that was a fun video to do. We actually made that one up, didn't we? Oh, good question. To fight Thanos, probably have to choose Logan, Nine Fingers, obviously. I'd have to choose Ghost. I would have to choose Orca. I would also have to choose Storm. And I would probably choose... Oh, what's the wizard's name from Kings of the Wild? He's great.
I don't remember.
I'd probably choose Polynikes from Gates of Fire because that guy is insane. Do you know what? It's I do like her arc. I definitely do like Sansa's arc. I just think in the program, I just found her a bit annoying, whether it's the actor or whether it was her dialogue. It's definitely later on. I really enjoyed her earlier on, but it's when, yeah, later on, I wasn't the hugest fan. Is it what's the wizard's name?
I know, I was looking, but I can't.
Is it on the
say it
back?
Quickly.
But
No, it's
yeah.
not. It's just says
A nice cuppa and a biscuit is the best reading
A
snack.
cup of tea. You can't get much better than that when you're reading.
And it's never a cup of tea. It's a cup of tea.
It's a cup of tea.
Do you want to come in for a cup of tea? How I was going to say, except for the starts, because that's got to be a given. I love to hate the Lannisters, but Tyrion is one of the best. He is
so good.
Without the Starks, I would have to say Targaryens, the Rastafarian Targaryens.
Baratheons, Storm's End. What a place!
Yeah,
what a place.
Yeah,
and Stannis, he did a
thing.
bad thing. He did one bad thing. No, okay.
What about the murder?
It's a really bad thing, but he's a fantastic character. And yeah, he's one of those that really jumps off the page. Yeah. And he's probably my top 5 characters in the books.
Yeah.
No, I've only read the first 3, but from them.
Yeah, Hobbit diet minus the mushrooms. I love Bubble and Squeak. But yeah, I think there's quite a few vegetarian hobbits because they do absolutely love to grow anything, really, don't they? So they will eat green stuff. Yeah.
Hello. And Jen, Nicola Rising, Dorothy Dunnet. Have you read that, Ed? Or is it on your list?
I started listening to it. I think it's more 15th century Italy, to be honest. I'm not sure if it's the Byzantine Empire. If you want the Byzantine Empire, maybe try book 2 of the Robert Lowe Oathsworn series because they do visit Constantinople. So yeah, what was the Norse name for that? I've forgotten.
I don't know.
I've really upset myself. I usually know that's on the tip of my tongue.
And Ed's going to know as soon as the live stream
Dorothy
ends.
Dunnet is considered one of the masters of historical fiction, and I'm going to start with Nicola Rising because I love 15th century Italy, and I believe that's what it is. So yeah,
throw some potatoes in there.
Potatoes.
Well. And looking forward. Yes, we are definitely looking forward to reading Sharp. I'll read Warlord. And yeah, then I'll be going on to Sharp.
Should I listen to Sharp or physically read it? And yeah, that is my question.
More chat about potatoes.
Potatoes.
More chat about potatoes.
Have either of you read any R. Scott Baker? Prince of Nothing. Yeah, I have read Prince of Nothing. I think I read that in January, I believe.
But I read it early this year.
I did enjoy it. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I think I was missing a lot of stuff. It's a lot like Count McCarthy, I reckon. His prose has lots of layers. So I would definitely carry on the series. But Nair was my favorite perspective. He was very unique. And hopefully his perspective continues to to be interesting in book 2.
You did talk to me a lot about him when you were reading it at the time. And so, yeah, it really shows that his perspective leaped off of the page. And no, we've not read anything by Tamora Pierce, but we really need that. We've said about 300
I haven't even
books
heard
on
of
the what?
Really? Tamora Pierce.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's about 300 books on the TBR. And so, yeah, we need to get around to some of them. That's the it's better to have too many than too few. Yes. To be fair, I just left that out. I need Logan on the list. Logan, you're right. Dude is on another level.
I don't know if Logan's ever been called a dude, but I love that.
He has
to
now.
fight. Yeah, Azeroth, Morgul, Slick. But I think they would kill each other rather than Thanos.
Yeah.
Or they would team up with Thanos for world dominion.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Oh, Candice Moog, of course.
What a name.
Any guy who invents
Thank you,
medieval
I'm
Viagra, that's so funny.
That is a brilliant name.
I love that scene. It's absolutely hilarious.
So good.
Yeah.
What a book as well.
What a guy. What a guy. You'd really like The Innocents Abroad by Mark Twain. Yeah, I haven't actually read any.
I think Papa Gwyn has it in his room, actually.
Probably does.
Yeah, Candice Moog. Yeah, Jaime Lannister, he's fantastic where you go from hating him and then you have one chapter from his perspective and yeah, it changes everything. It's really brilliant, really fantastic character work. And yeah, shows what it's really kind of, I think that really just shows what writer George R. R. Martin is. If you're going to show one case study, it'll be the characterization of Jaime Lannister.
Yeah, and yeah, just insane. I've actually met the guy who cut his hand off. Just quick flex there. That's as much as I can flex, though. Darrow, Orca, Kaladin Stormblessed, I believe it is from
Way of Kings.
Bernard, a Brandon Sanderson book. And Amanda Rake is from the Malazan. He is intense. Randall Thor, I think, Wheel of Time. No one villain can stand against that unit. Yeah, I would probably substitute Darrow for Severo.
Severo is,
a wild card.
Do you wear wigs? Maybe.
Greatest interview of all time. Stuart says, listen to Sharp. Okay, I promise I will definitely listen to it.
And back to some of the most important questions we've been asked.
Have you worn wigs?
Maybe. Will you wear wigs?
So it goes, do you wear wigs? No, I do not. Have you worn wigs? No, I do not. Will you wear wigs? Maybe. And then he bursts into laughter.
When will you wear
such
wigs?
A funny interview.
So good, yeah. You need to go watch it. People who don't know what we're talking about, this is an interview of Elijah Wood. So we're not just acting crazy.
With Dominic Monaghan is
pretending to be
to be a German interviewer. Jen the Bookworm says, would you consider yourselves history buffs? How much of your history knowledge comes from the fiction you've read?
I wouldn't say I'm a history buff. I'd say that I know quite a bit about a range of historical periods, but I wouldn't say I'm a specialist in anything. Well, maybe World War II, Churchill. I wouldn't go as far as say I'm a specialist. I know a lot about the man.
If we turn the camera around, there would just be posters of Churchill.
No, there definitely wouldn't. But I've read a lot of books on Churchill because I had to write a dissertation style essay on
him.
Yes,
you did. I do probably consider myself a history buff. I've read a lot of non-fiction. I don't really pick up too much from fiction, mainly because you're never really sure what is fact or fiction, obviously, until you get to the end, the historical note, and that's if they've told the truth, which sometimes they don't.
They might not.
So yeah, have you read the Powder Mage trilogy?
I have, and I absolutely loved it. Brilliant trilogy, really great use of Flintlock Fantasy.
Surprised that many people didn't like it at all. Do you know what? I've heard the opposite, to be honest. I've heard it's a big hit in the fantasy community, but it's funny when you know if you look on Goodreads or something, then you might see a lot of people enjoyed it, but then in our circle, maybe on Twitter or something, you see that not many people enjoyed it. That's quite common for me anyway when I'm looking at fantasy books lately. But yeah, it's always tells different stories. A tale of two tales. That's it. But yeah, no,
yes,
I liked book one. So I'm still on the Powder Mage.
Sorry, Ed.
Yeah, I liked book one. I'd like to continue it. I listened to it. I'll probably go back and physically read it. But yeah, it felt cool. It felt like it was very different level of immersion because it's a different kind of setting, isn't it? Rather than Western Europe. Name for Miklagath.
Ed is going to be very disappointed with himself for the rest of the night.
Upset. Thank you, Stuart, though. Thank you.
Well, I definitely need to add Innocence to the TBR pile then.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, he's on the list, but I wouldn't say that he's very high up. So I wouldn't say for viewers to expect any Sanderson content anytime.
They're just
soon.
too big. They're too big.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's just sometimes there's an author where everything should be really engaging you, like ready to read it, but it's missing that spark, not in terms of the actual writing, but to really get my interest, to really dive in front of so many other books that have really hooked me. Well, I read a book physically and I listen to a book on audiobook, so there'll be different books. So that has helped, but also it's just about making the time. A lot of it is about routine. On the way to work, listen to a book, not so much lately, but traveling, listen to a book or read a book a bit before you go to sleep. It's those little routines that if you say read 5 pages before you go to sleep, then by the end of the year, that's 1,500 pages just on its own. And so, yeah, little things like that make a big difference along the way.
Don't do what I do and get utterly obsessed with reading and then burn yourself out for a while, because I haven't actually read too much lately. I'm just getting into the swing of it again, but had different priorities. But yeah, it's all about a balance, isn't it? And just rather than sitting on your phone for 15 minutes, then read a chapter or something, and set yourself goals, set yourself little goals that are a win each day.
Yeah, you are right. That makes a big difference. And yeah, I absolutely love the Genghis Khan series. I did stop when a certain character isn't in it anymore. I won't say who, but it's because I thought that character was so brilliant. And there is another book after that, so I didn't read that one. But yeah, I'd say yes.
Yeah, we have differing opinions of that, really, don't we? I read book 1, it's okay, but I'm not too mad on it.
It was more than okay.
I think I enjoy them, but I enjoyed them when I was a bit younger. I think before I became a history snob. Yeah. But I really enjoyed his Roman series, actually. Severo over Darrow. Sure, Severo's wild, true, but Darrow and his armor can take 10 Severos put together. Also,
I do agree, but maybe you need a bit of someone to sneak around the back when it put in with those other 4. 1v1.
But then
Darrow.
Would Severo get on with the rest of the group? That
I don't know. But would Darrow?
It's true. Well, Darrow probably would get on with people because he's clever enough to, not just run off.
Yeah,
and Severo, well, maybe not clever enough, but wise enough. Severo would probably get annoyed that Darrow's not there, and then he would disappear or try and hang himself.
Yes, I definitely agree. I think that reading kind of a book can really ignite your love for a historical period or reading more historical fiction. I think, it's a very powerful thing. Again, talking about the impact of reading, it can really kind of open a whole new world.
I think that is the most important thing, really, when you have something to spark your interest, your fascination, and then diving into it a bit deeper with non-fiction. But yeah, I think historical fiction is where you get the immersion from.
I do agree.
It's rude, isn't it?
I do agree. I think that the
immersion is really important for me as a historical fiction reader. And when you feel like when someone gets it right, it is just so much fun.
And immersion doesn't mean so many details. It means that you just feel that you're there.
It feels like the world is real.
You have to strike a balance, don't you?
Yeah. It's funny because kind of Stephen Pressfield in Gates of Fire writes as if you substituted all the spears, all the bronze armor, all the names for like modern day settings, modern day, versions, then it would still fit, but it still also feels immersive, doesn't it? So it doesn't have to be like completely authentic. But
I do agree.
Yeah. Jen, I want some Turkish historical fiction too. I need some well-rounded historical fiction with fight scenes. I haven't read too much Turkish.
Neither.
Really.
At the end of Raven trilogy, Giles Christian there, so there's a lot of traveling in that, but it's not really.
No, that's there's a series about the steps, which I can't remember what it's called now. It's not obviously not Conan.
We might have to get back to you on.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that one, Jen. I will try. I'll give you a message and see if we can find some.
Yeah, I've read some stuff like this, and yeah, I agree. I can't get it out of my mind, and it would have been crazy. Well, because his original plan was to do 3 books, and I think Tyrion was meant to be in love with Arya, and he was going to try and kill Jon because he was jealous that.
Spoiler.
Yeah.
I wonder what he's actually going to write. Do you think George has just seen everyone's reaction for season 8 and then he's changing the plan, or do you think, do you think the plan was different? I'd be interested to see what people think. And Green says, you've been tasked to replace one of your favorite heroes. You get the power and all. Who do you choose? So I'm one of the heroes.
Morgoth. I'm joking.
That is so true. That's so William. I probably would replace Morgoth and do something interesting.
Huron.
I'd probably replace Huron and do something
No,
interesting. No one from the Silmarillion.
Beren.
Please. No one's from the
Beren.
He's the only good bit of the Silmarillion, and you want to replace him. You can't be Beren, mate.
Okay, everyone, we have to end this live stream.
That's a really good question.
We have to. And Brayden, you've now caused a brotherly rift.
Heroes, maybe I would replace someone from Kings of the Wild, because then I can be mates with them. But I wouldn't replace Moog, because
you need him.
He's too much fun. Not for the Viagra, but yeah, he's too much fun. There tends to be a social phenomenon in booktube circles where an opinion either does or doesn't like a book, and then a lot of people follow along or react against it.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I don't know. I don't really look at stuff like that, but I definitely would say that when kind of one booktuber has read a book, sometimes it ignites a lot of the others following it, which I think a lot of the time is a lot of fun because you can all kind of talk about the same book. But also, I like to hear about as many books as possible, so it's nice to have a bit of balance for booktube.
I think
there's so many kind of great booktube channels that I never really have that problem.
I think hype is a real thing, and I think you see a surge in hype and then enjoyment. And then you see people who have then jumped on it because of the hype, have expectations that are naturally high. And then, it always feels unfair when someone says, I didn't like a book because of, the hype around it, because I expected a lot more. And that's kind of, it's a double-edged sword.
It does feel unfair, but it still does impact the reading experience.
It does, definitely. And that's why lots of people didn't enjoy the Northman film, because they expected a film like Gladiator. And then they went in and it was a kind of a very different take from the usual kind of action history.
And then, following on from what you were saying.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think it's more hype rather than people trying to, follow a leader. But it depends, because, you have to share your honest opinions, don't you? And I think the booktubers who I enjoy the most are people who, always share their honest opinions and add something different to kind of a general thought. Like Philip Chase, I love watching his reviews because of he adds something to his reviews, whether it's historical, context or references or mythological awareness, or just him talking about the human condition, always adds something else. So,
it really, really does. And so, Picture of the Children of Gods and Fighting Men, 2 female protagonists, both part of Irish mythological groups, which the rest of the world is unbeknownst to that they exist. They have to try and survive and get the way for it's hard to pave the way for those they love in what is a very patriarchal dominated society, and so they have to use their wits. And it's a really brilliant kind of character study, I would say, with a great action sequence here and there, but mostly it is about the interactions and the dialogue, and it's set in late 10th century Ireland. Yeah,
Viking Age Ireland meets Irish mythology.
What more can you ask for? It's a bit like I said earlier with Sanderson. There's nothing against him, but it's that there's so many authors I want to read that there's nothing so far which has put him to the top of the pile.
It's the hype. Everyone likes him too much. No, I'm joking. I'm not sure, actually. I just haven't really been drawn to it. And I think they're probably booked. When it's a big book, you probably need to wait. I'm going to wait till I'm drawn to it. Yeah, exactly. Which booktuber do you watch the most? Probably Mike's book reviews.
My book reviews, Matt's fantasy reviews, Philip Chase,
Jimmy Nuts.
So hard, isn't it? There's so many.
Yeah. Joanna, definitely. Sarah.
Watched a lot of Sarah Rees, Abby Salter.
Yeah, exactly.
Petrick,
of course.
Made Between the Pages.
Yeah, I watched a lot of Daniel Green as well. I like Daniel Green's videos and
Murphy Napier.
Yeah, definitely. Just a whole bunch, really. And I go through phases of watching a lot and then watching a little bit.
Genghis Khan as well.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so
and
there's
of
so
course
many.
Rekindled Reader.
Yeah, definitely. And Josh at Red Fury Books as well has a similar reading taste, and I really love watching his videos as well. So, Library of a Viking just did a good review of The Faith and the Fallen. And although he didn't admit it was perfect, which I think he should have said probably.
Well, there's nothing really with what books will be happening after the Bloodsworn 3. So sorry, we can't really give you any answers there.
Hey, we would love, as a Norse lover, I would absolutely love that. Also would love to see him go back to the Banished Lands and spend more time with Korban. Technically, that would be a 5-book series.
But we'll be excited whichever way he goes.
Yeah. Con Egan's new book, Empire, is really good, although the timeline is extremely compressed. Yeah, Con Egan does tend to do that and kind of bypass a lot. I just wish he would just really explore everything rather than have to shove it all in. Obviously, you know, it's a bit of a Bernard Cornwell style approach sometimes, isn't it? But at least Bernard wrote a 13-book series.
Yeah.
So fair play to him.
Fair play to him.
Yeah. Stuart, the
Hi,
two
Stuart.
Stuarts, good to see you both next to each other as well. Hopefully you're getting along. There's room for more than one Stuart here.
Yeah, I agree a bit. Yeah, I do agree, Jen, that obviously he must be obviously worried if that's kind of the story he was going with and then it didn't go down well, so he's going to have to change aspects. Obviously, in the books, he's got a lot more different characters and threads that he has to weave to and fro from each other. And so, yeah, if he does release book, we'll see if it stays similar to this season's or not. It'd be very interesting to see. And yeah, I definitely do agree that, yeah, it'd be risky to go with the same story.
Yes, very risky.
Risky. Too risky.
Yeah, that's another. That is another route. I'm not really sure. I've not actually thought about it too much. But yeah, that's definitely.
I think he's definitely probably panicking, realizing the sheer amount that he has to cover.
I do believe he will release the next book, but not the one after that. That's my opinion.
Savage, Will. Savage.
As you said earlier, Ed, you read them in chronological order.
I recommend Lonesome Dove first.
But you recommend publication.
Unless you want a coming of age style, where you should then go to Dead Man's Walk.
I know. I wish there were more hardbacks. Our dog really upset me the other day by chewing the corner of a Shadow of the Gods hardback, and we don't have many. And so, yeah, it's precious material, and we wish there were more hardbacks.
Hardbacks are only in the UK, aren't they? Because I don't think... Did America have hardbacks?
No, but
I
then
don't think so.
People can often buy them from...
yeah, of course. Yeah.
So... you need to read Children of Gods and Fighting Men.
Yeah, Shauna is great. She watches a lot of booktube. She's always been engaged with the fantasy community before she was an author as well. And it's been great to, get to know her a bit better. Really looking forward to reading more of her work because, SP says the hype for Brando is worth it, especially in Stormlight Archive. Words of Radiance is my favorite book of all time.
Yeah, we'll have to see. We will have to see.
However he decides to end it, it'll be unsatisfying to someone. Very true. He needs to write for himself, really, rather than other people. So, hopefully he will end it in his own way. And Christian with a great comment there. Well, I don't know why I would watch his videos, to be honest, because I could just ask him. But
that is true.
Have you seen the comments Will writes on his own videos from the Brothers Gwyn?
Do you know what Ed does? So I have a separate channel which I don't do as much on, but some different stuff that won't go on the Brothers Gwyn. And Ed goes and comments, but then signs it off from me saying great video, and then signs it off as if I'm writing it about my own video. So yeah, if you have seen that, it's not from me.
Such a good video, Will.
It's Ed saying it. He's lying. And that's actually identity fraud.
Challenge accepted as well. We will see. Maybe you have to hype it up less. Who knows? Maybe. I read a kid's graphic story of Mary, Queen of Scots.
Another example,
and never looked back on historical fiction.
Another example of how that can really ignite not just a love for history, but a love for reading, and the two are often intertwined.
Definitely. One Steward.
I
said Steward there. Denethor would have something to say about that.
I'm not sure we'll get merch of ourselves, but we definitely need some merch of Papa Gwyn stuff.
Yeah.
For sure.
Definitely. Which Lancelot would you rather be? The one in Bernard Cornwell's?
I definitely
obviously the Giles Christian ones, because the one in Bernard Cornwell's is an utter dick, isn't he?
Do you mean the other way around?
Bernard Cornwell's one is a dick,
but he does some things that it's really upsetting.
What, Lancelot? What do you mean? I would rather be the one in Giles Christian's.
Because... I thought it said which Arthur would you rather be?
No, Lancelot.
Obviously Giles Christian's. Because I despise
he does some
that man.
That are really
he does do some things that are bad. He really does.
Have to go and join for the St. John Eve celebrations here in
Hope
Norway.
You enjoy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mac.
Along.
And Norway, what a beautiful place. Hopefully you have a good evening and enjoy. Thank you for stopping by. Truth and Courage.
He starts over again. So because he's going to be writing for a long time then. Do it, Ed. and then we just won't say anything else. Just go on to the next comment.
Little hobbit on brain, you stupid fat hobbit.
You're
And
not.
there's our
You
Smeagol
should play Fable more.
Phil for the day. Oh, thanks so much, and thank you so
great
much for
to see
supporting the
you.
channel so much. You comment on basically every single video.
First,
yeah,
always. Yeah.
Thank you so
Safina.
much.
Truth and courage. We've both gone silent. Can you read them out,
See, it's
please? Because your reading
I need.
face is so
Where are my
intense.
glasses? 'Cause
Where
I'm
are
going
the
to have to
glasses?
start putting glasses on. 'cause
That
my
follow
eyes
thing
are-
is huge, so I seek out the smaller independent ones. Can't stand the hype when it's not earned. Yeah, good point, Heather. Obviously, it's earned for someone, but maybe it's not earned, for when by the time you get to that. William, those are some dashing.
Thank you. And our corgi Nelly chewed the corners. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone for all these comments. We can only be here for a little bit longer, but yeah, we can go through some more comments. But just letting you know, it won't be going on for too much longer. We're so thankful to everyone who's joined us, and yeah, so glad that people seem to have enjoyed a bit of it and asked a lot of questions, and we've enjoyed answering them.
Jen, you are part Viking. That is impressive.
That is awesome.
Did you enjoy Vikings when you watched it? SB, does Covenant still get better? I have not read it, so I have no idea.
Matt, thank you so much. That's so kind of you, and yeah, blows us away that people would want to give money towards the channel, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so yeah, thanks so much, and hopefully you're enjoying the chat and Truth and Courage.
That's really kind, Matt. Thank you. A vlog dedicated to westerns, Native Americans, films, fiction, and non-fiction, please. Yeah, that would be great. William has to read more. I could do a video on my own. I reckon maybe I could do that, but yeah, you need to catch up, Will. Really.
I really do.
Definitely. What do you guys think of Ryan Cahill? I just got my copy of Blood and Fire from the Broken Binding, beautiful edition.
Yeah, the TVB special press. Yeah, I think that is a great series, especially if you like kind of classic fantasy and you want a bit of a modern twist. It really does that really well. And yeah, he was inspired by Papa Gwyn, so it's kind of got that kind of feel as well. So pretty awesome.
To temper the hype, I've tried to read 3 different Sando books, but haven't finished any of them.
Well, it just shows any author, no matter how beloved, won't click with anyone, and that's part of the beauty of reading, because
Jared,
reading is subjective.
You stand tall, you stand strong. I don't know if I agree with your opinion or not yet, but I will let you know in the future if I get there. Will, I think I remember you saying you read the Wolf Hall trilogy. I think you read the
I've read the first one, and I really need to read more. I think that it wasn't actually the second person perspective I found jarring. It was that when it said him, often that meant Cornwell, and then it took me a little while to actually realize that. But yeah, the second person I didn't find jarring. I found it felt a bit strange a little while it took to adapt to that at first, but then once I had, I mean, I think if I'm looking straight at a reflection of like lights and stuff. But yeah, it took a little while to get used to, but I wouldn't say jarring.
SP, thank you. I will give you £20.
Ed is. Did you not know that Andy Serkis actually just mimes and Ed does the voice? Crazy.
True.
Of Blood and Fire was one of the most poorly written books I've ever read and had nothing original. It's interesting. So many who review it don't do it alone.
It's a shame you didn't enjoy it. Yeah, that again, as I said earlier, it's about the subjective reading, isn't it? And yeah, it's one of the things where you won't like books, but then others you will love that other people.
See, I would gladly have tried this until Andy Serkis then narrated them, because you just can't compare it to the goat, can you? Anyone who drinks lemon juice and honey or something, isn't it? Yeah, it deserves it. Which is your favorite book from your father? Great question, Safina.
So hard. Hunger of the Gods, or Ruin, or Time of Blood, or Malice, or
I really like the Banished Lands and the Blood Swan. I think my favorite would probably always be Malice. Because of the nostalgia and the attachment to it since I was a kid. And Corban's my favorite friend of all time, apart from you.
Thanks, Ed.
Actually, yeah. And I think when The Shadow of the Gods came out, that was my favorite. I think the best book he's written. And Hunger of the Gods, of course, but I think The Shadow of the Gods just surprised me at how insane it was. Insanely good. Anyway, do you guys listen to music, ambience when reading?
Sometimes, but when I was reading Lord of the Rings, I had to put kind of Rohirrim ambience on, didn't I? Yeah. Especially Two Towers.
The best thing to listen to is the Skyrim soundtrack, or the
great.
Oblivion is almost as good.
Change forever.
I have to head off, but thank you guys for the chat. I'll catch you in a video. Thank you, Jen.
You enjoyed.
Great to see you. Oh, the Covenant books are Anthony Ryan series. No, okay, right. I haven't read that yet, but I definitely would like to read more Anthony Ryan very soon.
Off to enjoy Diablo. Yeah. Not tonight, but yeah, you're looking forward to getting back to Diablo, aren't you, Ed?
And yeah, very, very soon. I've actually been playing it with my girlfriend, which is quite fun. And she's she's actually very, very good at it. I'm also heavily inspired by Papa Gwyn. When I get published, I hope to fly from the States and buy him a pint or two. We will be there, Matt. Thank you very much. And yeah, we're glad that you enjoy Papa Gwyn's works and that he's inspired you in a way that's awesome.
And yeah, I need to actually watch Vikings, but yeah, I hope I enjoy it.
You should watch more TV, really.
It is quite nostalgic.
William just watches The Office on repeat.
No, we don't know the name either, I am afraid. But yeah, as we said, as soon as there's an update, it will be put everywhere.
It's been fun. I think my boss will breach yeah, the 9 till 5 is
good luck, Pavon, and truth and courage. And thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.
It's pain.
So I think we can answer 2 or 3 more, and then we have to go, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I understand, Heather. Well, I haven't read it, but I understand your point. I've seen lots of similar points, but yeah, I may or may not be playing Diablo right now. Jack, what's your class? Who are you?
And Jen, you're right. It's crazy the impact that certain events in history have, and so yeah, really is crazy.
Yeah, and the Rogue. Any interest in Daniel Abraham's Long Prize Quartet? Yeah, Alan. We haven't even mentioned Alan, have we? Alan's another book
He's fantastic. A lot of, and yeah, I got the recommendation from Yellow Sky Revolt from him.
And he really I think he enjoyed Long Prize Quartet, or Jimmy Nuts did. And yeah, I'd like to read more Daniel Abraham, since he will probably be writing Game of Thrones in the future. So yeah, Ambreen, great to see you. Truth and courage. And on that note, from everyone, Jared, Truth and courage from Canada, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great fun, so much fun, so good to see all of you, and it's been an absolute pleasure. So thank you very much, and truth and courage. We'll see you in a video very soon, but stay safe, enjoy your reading, and we will catch you ASAP.
Truth and courage, everyone. Stay safe.
The Brothers Gwyn.
The Brothers Gwyn.